angel to do it. Now let's go to Jude chapter. Well, it's only one chapter, verse 5. Jude, that's the book just before Revelation, next to the last book in the Bible. Jude, it only has one chapter. Jude, and we're gonna pick it up at verse 5. Jude, verse 5. Jude, verse 5. So when you're dealing with evil spirits, then that is what you are dealing with. You are dealing with evil angels here. And angels' power is far greater than that of all men. You understand what I'm telling you? So now that is what you're dealing with here. People don't, nowadays people they've gotten so sophisticated now. They don't believe in evil spirits and all of that. But I'm here to tell you, these evil spirits, they still around and they still operate the way they did in the past. Now, so now the Lord, he sent the evil angels among them. Let's go now to Jude, and we'll begin reading at verse 5. Jude, verse 5. Okay, go ahead and read.
I will therefore put you in remembrance.
Now, Jude is just reminding them of, all the things that had happened in the past, and he said, I'm just putting you in remembrance. I'm just reminding you, how the Lord going to take vengeance on those that have sinned against him. He's taking them back how he did it in the past, and he's letting them know here how he's going to do it yet in the future. Because people, you're dealing with the same God. Now, if he punished man for doing wrong in the past, then why should man escape nowadays? You understand what I'm telling you? And this is what Jude is telling the people. He's just taking them back, and reminding them what God did in the past. When men sinned against him, even when the angels sinned against him, he even cast them down in the bondage. Only for a time, but they're going to receive a greater punishment later on. Go ahead and read on.
Though you once knew this.
He said, now, I'm here to remind you, though you once knew this. Go ahead and read on.
How that the Lord, having saved the people out of the land of Egypt, afterward destroyed them that believed not.
Now, he saved them out of Egypt. Didn't he bring them all, brought every Israelite out of Egypt, didn't he? Then when he got them there in the wilderness, what did he do? Those that sinned against him in the wilderness, he destroyed them. And that's what Jude is reminding people. Again, the Lord saved them, but now when they got out there and messed up and started to sin against them, he destroyed them. In other words, there ain't nobody getting away. You ain't getting away. You might get by for a minute, but you ain't getting away. The Lord, there's a cost that comes with sin, and the Lord going to require that cost be paid. Now, either you can pay now or you can pay later. Or you can pay a small cost today or pay a greater cost in the future. But I guarantee you're going to pay something for sin. Go ahead and read on.
And the angels which kept not their first estate.
Now, the angels that did not keep their first estate. Who was the angels that didn't keep their first estate? It was Satan and his angels. And what was their first estate? Their first estate, they were sitting there around the throne of God. Because what was the main angel called? The main evil angel was called what? Lucifer, the light bearer, right? He was the one that was sent to bear light. But he decided in his heart that, I'm going to exalt myself above the thrones of God, and I'm going to be like the Most High. I ain't going to be serving no God. I'm going to exalt myself above the throne of God, and I'm going to be like the Most High. So his first estate was Lucifer, the light bearer, right? But he decided that wasn't good enough for him. I got to be greater than the Most High, or at least be as great as the Most High. I'm going to exalt myself above the thrones of God, and I'm going to be like the Most High. Go ahead and read on.
But left their own habitation. He have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day.
See what I say? He have reserved in everlasting chains under darkness to be reserved until the day of judgment. So, he's out there. You understand what I'm saying? But he haven't gotten away. The Lord has appointed a time that he's going to deal with him. But for now, he has been reserved in chains of darkness until the judgment of the great day. Now let's go to John chapter 12, and we're going to pick it up at verse 30. John 12, and we're going to pick it up at verse 30. 12 and verse 30. Show you what Jesus called him. Now, the book said that, he'd been cast out, and he left his first estate. That means his first standing or his first rank. You understand what I'm saying? Because he did have a high rank. And now he's been cast out in the chains of darkness until the judgment of the great day. Now let's go to John chapter 12, and we'll begin reading at verse 30, and I'm going to show you what Jesus called. Read this. This shocks a lot of people. John chapter 12, and we'll begin reading at verse 30. 12 and verse 30. Okay, when you get it, go ahead and read, brother.
Jesus answered and said, "This voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of this world." He
said, now is the judgment of this world. Go ahead and read on.
"Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. And I..."
Wait a minute. He said, now shall what? The prince, the ruler. That's what prince is, a ruler, isn't it? He said, now shall the prince of this world, or the ruler of this world, be cast out. You understand? That's what Jesus called him. I didn't call him that. Jesus said he's the ruler of this world. Not of the world to come, but of this world. Because Jesus told you about his kingdom. He said, if my kingdom was of this world, then would my servants faint. But my kingdom is not of this world. So now he done allowed Satan to control this world, but he has set limitations on how far he can go, however. Because Satan would destroy the whole creation if the Lord didn't set some kind of limitations on him. But notice what Jesus called him, the prince of the ruler of this world. And make no mistake about it, he is ruling this world. If you look at what's going on in this world, it should be obvious that he is ruling this world. Let's go now to Daniel chapter 10, and we will begin reading at verse 2. Daniel 10, and we'll begin reading at verse 2. 10 and 2. Daniel 10, and we'll begin reading at verse 2. 10 and 2. Got to put this thing on here. Okay, Daniel chapter 10, and we'll begin at verse 2. 10 and 2. Okay, when you get it, go ahead and read, brother.
"In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning 3 full weeks. I ate no pleasant bread, neither came flesh nor wine in my mouth. Neither did I anoint myself at all, till 3 whole weeks were fulfilled."
In other words, Daniel saying, I fasted for 3 weeks. Go ahead and read on.
"And in the 4th and 20th day of the first month, as I was by the side of the great river, which is Hiddekel, then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz." Now,
this certain man, this ain't talking about no flesh and blood man like me, but this was an angel, even the angel Gabriel. And he said, he was dressed, because I know it wasn't an actual man, because look at how this man looked. And you tell me if you've ever seen a man look like this. And if you have, I bet it scared you to death. Because when Daniel saw him, it scared him to death. Go ahead and read on.
His body, it's 6, verse 6.
Go ahead.
"His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of light."
See what it said? His body was like the beryl, and his face was as the appearance of light. In other words, this being here, he glowed. This was a spiritual being here, an angel, but this is one of the good angels here. Go ahead and read on.
"And his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in color to polished brass."
Go ahead.
"And the voice of his words was like the voice of a multitude."
And the voice of his words was like the voice of a multitude, very loud. Like when the Lord came down and stood on the Mount Sinai and spoke to the people, and it thundered and lightning and everything, and everybody got scared, and everybody stepped back and said, "Moses, you go talk to him. We don't want to hear that voice anymore, lest we die." Now notice what Daniel did when he heard this voice. Go ahead and read on.
"And I, Daniel, alone saw the vision. For the men that were with me saw not the vision."
Go ahead.
"But a great quaking fell upon them."
He said, but a great quaking fell upon them. Go ahead and read on.
"So that they fled to hide themselves."
Everybody took off. You understand what I'm saying? And then you got people talking about, well, I'll stand there and I'll tell Satan one thing. I'll look him right in the face. No, you won't. If you wouldn't look him in the face because you saw him, you'd be heading the other way. If he see you in the back because you be gone. Just like these men was gone when they saw this good angel here. Go ahead and read on.
"Therefore I was left alone and saw this great vision.
Go ahead.
And there remaineth no strength in me."
See what Daniel said? There remaineth no strength in me. Go ahead and read on.
"For my comeliness was turned into me into corruption.
Go ahead.
And I retained no strength. Yet heard I the voice of his words.